What is happening, YouTube? James Harden debuted with the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. We faced off against the New York Knicks, and we faced the New York Knicks right at home, and it was a very competitive game. The first three quarters, it looked pretty good. It was always like a neck-to-neck game. It wasn't like a one-sided game where any team blew a lead. It was always competitive in general. Um, Then the fourth quarter, that's when everything pretty much collapsed, in my opinion. And then the Knicks, the opposing team, just gained momentum, and then the Clippers, they couldn't capitalize, whether it was getting rebounds or um, or pretty much just making shots in general. We missed a lot of shots, man, in my opinion. And then basically, I'm breaking down with these stats and give my opinions on each players. The Knicks, they stepped up. Players stepped up. R.J. Barrett returned. Julius Randle, he went crazy, unfortunately. Um, but anyways, let's get into the sets. So Paul George, he got rebounds, that's a good thing. 3 assists, 3 steals. So he did his part on defense and reboundings, but his offense was pretty abysmal. He went 2 for 11, 1 for 6 from threes. He just couldn't make any shots. He was doing pretty awful. Um, just like it's inexcusable. He definitely could have. It was definitely on him to step up, and if he stepped up, obviously we could have won the game. But unfortunately, not everybody is perfect every night. Kawhi Leonard, he stepped up later on, but even he could have stepped up more too. He went cold, as you see, only went for 2 for 6. He was off 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He could have done better. Ivica Zubac, Zubac, he also had like more of a bad game as well too. Could have got more rebounds, only 7 rebounds, which is not really good. A big man should at least try to get like 9 to 10 rebounds at least. Double digits would be like considered good in rebounding. He did get a steal. Um, he got 3 blocks, um, but it wasn't really like his night. But one bright side about Zubac is the addition of James Harden could potentially like feed Zubac more, but then later on he didn't really get fed as often because all the other guys got to take the shots. Um, but he could have done better. Um, but to cut Zubac some slack, he was playing against the Knicks, and the Knicks, they are like a rebounding oriented team. You are going up against guys like Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, who's like a elite rebounding duo. So I guess it's semi understandable, but the problem is he started to turn the ball over way too much. I mean, way too much, man. 5 turnovers. Definitely got to cut that down, especially since you're a center. Shouldn't be turning the ball over like that. Um, Russell Westbrook, he was pretty much him and James Harden did their thing. Russell Westbrook was like the best player tonight, if I'm being honest. 8 for 13, 1 for 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He did his part. He was making his shots. He did whatever he could. So shout out to him. 4 turnovers, yeah, um, but he did his thing. He kept us in the game. James Harden, welcome to the Clippers. Um, when I heard the James Harden trade news broke out, I wasn't really feeling the trade, not because I didn't like Harden. It just I don't like the way how we traded for him. I still stand by this take. I felt we could have done other ways to acquire James Harden and gave up less draft picks, in my opinion, and probably could have kept Rocco. Um, but nevertheless, welcome to the Clippers. And James Harden, I would definitely say he also did pretty good. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Um, So pretty solid debut in my opinion. And another thing is, this is part of just the first game together. So if you like pretty much like have a whole entire new team, you're trying to like get used to each other with a new locker room. Of course, you're not gonna start off the best, and they were playing as a Knicks, who's a pretty unpredictable team. Um, they play mediocre one night, and then the next night they all of a sudden turn to like I don't know. They play like a really good team. Like they somehow managed to beat the Celtics like a while back ago, but they did lose to the Celtics recently. But Harden, he did his thing. 17 points. He showed a lot of flashes of being unselfish. He tried to feed Zubac a decent amount of time, try to get players involved and all that. So I guess you would get more bobbling, but then later on we kind of trended towards isolating the ball more, which was not it. But nevertheless, I thought Harden had a solid debut. PJ Tucker, he did do a little bit better from what I've seen, what he did with the Lakers. Well, did he? I don't know. Um, he only got one rebound, which was a lot worse compared to like how he played against the Lakers, but he did get a steal, so I guess I'll give him that. But defense, I don't know. It's kind of streaky as well as like he kind of did better on defense, but I would still rather see minutes went to like a guy like Kobe Brown or mainly Diabate, because both of them they're better on defense in my opinion. But again, second game PJ Tucker, he does have those occasional moments when he does like a solid play and all that back in when he was with the Sixers or the Rockets. Hopefully, we could get the Houston Rockets version of PJ Tucker eventually, but so far he has a pretty slow start. Diabate, he was plugged in the rotations right when Mason Plumlee got hurt. Felt like Ty Lue could have like stuck him in a bit more, but small sample size, kind of hard to judge how he does. But he did got one field goal and he went to the free throw lines. But when Diabate plays a decent amount of minutes, he always finds a way to like impact the game. Like he would produce numbers a lot. There'll be times when he has an off game, of course, but he does produce. So that's still what one thing I'd like to see from Ty Lue to do more. Um, Plumlee Plumlee got hurt from Randall's questionable play. He did solid, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steals, 2 points. Kind of did the little things. Plumlee, he's definitely a very good acquisition for the Clippers to get back a big. Um, at times, like he could play efficient, but at the same time, his defense would be suspect. But he does produce on the offensive end. Um, if you need him to get a rebound, he usually would be able to do it. And the plus part is he is a solid playmaker for a big man. Like he does move the ball decently well. Bones Highland, um, it was an off night. It was just an off night for the Clippers in general. He did hit 1 3, about 4 assists, 1 steal, so he was decent on defense. But Bones Highland, he kind of turned the ball over a decent amount as well too. Overall, we turned the ball over way too much in general, um, but yeah, it was a sloppy game. Norman Powell turned the three turnovers, but he was solid this game. 5 for 7. He had 4 threes, 1 rebounds, and 1 block. So he did decently solid in my opinion. Kobe Bryant got a really small sample size, so it's hard to really tell. But overall, I think this is kind of like one of those games that you're just trying to get used to each other and all that. Um, and the next team we face is the New York Knicks. I mean the New York Nets. Um, the Nets. I don't know. Like, hopefully we bounce back against Brooklyn. But the thing with Brooklyn is Brooklyn, they got Cam Thomas, they got Ben Simmons, they got Nick Claxton. Um, so pretty much their defense would probably be just as good, and their offensive threat is also pretty good too. But they do got Royce O'Neal who would kind of like stink it up and all that. So I guess that's a plus. But then they got Dorian Finney-Smith. So I don't know. It could be a rough stretch for the Clippers. Hopefully we bounce back though. But if the Clippers lose though, that'd be a bummer. But we'll see what happens. And then let's talk about the Knicks a bit. So Julius Randle, he had a bounce back game, 27 points, 3 for 8, not for 21, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. That's probably because like maybe his ankle's probably healing. He had a terrible start. I mean terrible. He's like 20, 30% running the field goal in general. But this was his game. And it really sucks that it has to be us. Um, Randall, I don't know. In general, he's always been inconsistent. He has one good game, then the other game is bad. But one huge possible positive from him is he got 10 rebounds. That's crazy. He like the Knicks, they have rebounders like extremely crazy, about 17. Like that definitely got to be better. Mitchell Robinson, 15 rebounds, man. That's insane. 13 points. That's crazy. 4 steals. He was a force on offense and defense. Jalen Brunson, he had an off game. 2 for 12, 6 assists, 3 steals. RJ Barrett, man, him too. He be making crazy shots, bruh. 9 for 16, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Quentin Grimes, 21 minutes. He didn't do too much this game. Hardenstein, former Clippers, shout out to him. He made a solid impact. Two steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. I definitely miss him in the Clipper uniform. I would have been nice if we could have just kept Hardenstein instead of going for John Wall in hindsight. But John Wall, he did look good some games. So I mean, he's had some semi-solid games, and then it looked like um, that it was the right move because he did average 20 points a game. But man, would have been so much better if John Wall just took a pay cut and the Clippers could have still retained Hardenstein. Or I mean, it could have been managed as well too if Ty Lue included Diabate as the backup big way early on, because I still feel if you plug Diabate, I think he would produce similar numbers. Because Hartenstein got 13 minutes. I'm sure Diabate could have easily averaged those stats like 6 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. That sounds like a Diabate stats for sure, in my opinion. Josh Hart, um, very solid player in general, solid defender, 2 steals. 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 10 points. Dante DiVincenzo, that man killed us in the clutch. Um, he had three threes, in the clutch moment that kind of put a nail in the coffin. 6 rebounds, 12 points, solid. Emmanuel quickly, 5 assists, very good defense, and 1 rebound. But in general, the Knicks, they just played good. Unfortunately, it was one of those nights. It's one of those nights when it kind of a semi-bad team decides to play good against a contender. No disrespect intended, but you get the trend when a bad team or an average team just do their thing, but then when they play your favorite team, which is a contender, for example, they just play good. Knicks are just one of those teams, and sucks that it had to be us. Hopefully we bounce back. Hopefully we can manage to beat the Brooklyn Nets. If we don't, it's still not the end of the world. The next game is going to be the Grizzlies. After that on Sunday, and it's afternoon, so gotta kind of gotta be sharp. But anyways, let me know what you think about this game. You think the James Harden trade was the right move for the Clippers, or you think this entirely messed up, or it's not gonna work out for the Clippers for even right now, or you think it's just a bad game, it's just the beginning of the game. Um, we're still trying to get used to each other. Let me know what y'all think, and this should definitely end the video. Thank y'all really much for tuning in. Peace.